Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bummer Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfella of Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you, get 18% off. We out. All right, Shawn Porter was asked, I believe it was AB Boxing News, but I seen it on Fight Hype. He was asked about Terence Crawford performance versus Ingus Kavaliauskas, and he pretty much ripped Terence Crawford for his performance versus Kavaliauskas, and also have an update on who Shawn Porter could fight. I heard him say April, so let's talk a little bit about Shawn Porter and what he said about Crawford and his possible fight later this year for, according to him, a WBC interim title fight. But they looking at several guys. We back, Goodfella Sports TV. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Share the video. Appreciate the love, support. Now, I'll put that interview from Fight Hype in the description. Source under description, right? Obviously, one thing that I noticed that I don't think he watched the fight, because he was saying that Crawford was, why did he take so long to switch southpaw? And Crawford was in southpaw position the entire fight, I think, until he scored the knockout. Then he went to orthodox. You know what I'm saying? So one thing, Shawn Porter didn't watch the fight. Basically, Shawn Porter called Kavaliauskas a bum, and Mark Kriegel had to gorilla check him and basically tell him that Kavaliauskas is a good fighter. Just because you never heard of him does not mean he's a bum. You know. And then he goes on to Mark Kriegel said, "Do you want to fight Terence Crawford?" And he said, "Well, we'll see." You know what I'm saying? But you sit here and you talk all this shit about Crawford's performance. And all these people talk, and people talk junk, but you don't want to fight them. Y'all in the same weight class, right? Your daddy going around here bumping his gums, all right? It don't seem like you watched the fight, in my opinion. You know, I don't know if he a little tired, from doing a press conference and, training whatever he got going on. You don't watch the fight, in my opinion, right? He said when that boy dropped Crawford because he got dropped, he had my stomach hurting. That's what he said. But my whole thing about it is you didn't watch the fight. And my whole thing about it is you lost to a guy that had 7 losses in Julio Diaz. That wasn't no draw. Julio Diaz outpointed Shawn Porter. In the very next fight, Amir Khan beat Julio Diaz. You know what I'm saying? You had a draw with Julio Diaz. Now you came back and you had a unanimous decision. But most casuals don't know who Julio Diaz was. This a dude who lost a baby boy at lightweight. Okay, he fought a lot of guys. You lost to a guy that moved up, and you had a draw. In my opinion, was a loss. You had a draw with a guy who moved up in weight. You moved down in weight a few weight classes. Julio Diaz, I believe, started off at lightweight. This dude came up lightweight, junior welterweight to welterweight, right? And you had a draw with a guy, and you started off at super middleweight. So you got to watch what you say. You know what I'm saying? Because Shawn Porter out here saying, "Oh, you can't struggle with a guy like that." You struggle with a dude with 7 losses who started off, I believe, at lightweight. Let that marinate for a minute, like Nick Monjuice. It's quick how boxers forget. People can make the same case for your Dennis Yugas. People didn't know who the hell your Dennis Yugas was. You struggle with him. Casual fans. You struggle with Adrian Granados. You lost to Kell Brook, who was a virtually unknown fighter coming over to America. He hadn't fought anybody in his career. He was unknown. You lost to him. This dude got beat up by Carson Jones. But he got a bad decision. He came back and avenged it. His mouth was leaking and you lost to that guy. You know what I'm saying? You lost to that guy. So for you to sit here and critique somebody that you don't plan on fighting, I mean, come on, bro. And it seemed like you didn't watch the fight. It seemed like you had some malice right there in your heart. It seemed like you had some hate in your heart about Crawford. I mean, Crawford need to go out and call this dude Hokar. Forget all that friend. This dude ain't your friend, bro. I don't care what he say. This dude ain't your friend. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that throw you under the bus like that, man, these should be fighting words. I'll call him out. You know what I'm saying? I'll call him out. Forget all that, bro. I'll make an example of him. See if you can do what Kavaliauskas can do. Since Kavaliauskas was a bum, you know what I'm saying? For the most part is what he said. You know, since he dropped him and you want to hang me out there to dry like that? Nah, man, we got to fight now. Point blank period, bro. You know, you can put your Josesito López dreams to the side. Let's get it on. Forget a WBC intern fight. You can't sit here and critique a guy and basically throw a guy performance under the bus and call his opponent a bum. And that's pretty much what he said. And Mark Krieger was like, well, he ain't no bum. You know, do you want to fight him? Oh, we a C and this. Nah, dude, Bob Arum in the same room. It ain't nothing but space and opportunity, bro. You could have ran up on Bob, was like, yeah, man, we want to fight. I'm pretty sure. I know Kenny Porter wasn't there. He was in, you know what I'm saying? He was there. He was in Barclays Center last night. He was working with Barry Hunter and a couple of fighters he had. But Shawn Porter was there. If you want to fight with Terence Crawford, Bob Arum in the same room. It ain't nothing but space and opportunity. You can say, Bob, let me holler at you in the hallway, man. Yeah, I really want to fight Terence. You know, I ain't really got shit popping over here. You know, they got a few opponents. But, yeah, man, let's fight Terence. I want to fight Terence. You know, what? You know, call my dad and this the number, whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-blam. And, or we can hash it out real quick right here. And this is what I would want. Would it be on pay-per-view? I just want a one-fight deal to fight Terence. Not Terence. Terence really got to put that friendship aside. After this interview, man, don't no friends throw you under the bus like this. You know, basically call your person a nobody. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, he fought a few nobodies and struggled with them. To the casual fan. Most people don't even know who Julio Diaz is. They don't even remember Keith Thurman fighting him. They don't remember him losing to Baby Bull. They don't know that's Joel Diaz's brother. He had the trainer. You know what I'm saying? He out here saying, well, you shouldn't struggle with a guy of that caliber. Man, you lost to that man with 7 losses, moving up in weight. Kyle Velasquez is a natural welterweight. You probably struggle with Kyle Velasquez. You know what I'm saying? What Earl Spence tells Shawn Porter, he said, you fought Mikey Garcia, it would have been a close decision. Every fight with Shawn Porter close. Shawn Porter don't blow people out. He blew Devin Alexander out. That's because he had a drug addiction problem. And he blew Paulie out. Them the only guys he really blew out in his career. And this a dude that's going life and death with welterweights. And this nigga should be at least a natural junior middleweight. Really, he started off at super middleweight. You know, this is a guy that's saying, oh, I beat Alexander Usyk in the amateurs and this and that and the third. And then what kills me is he didn't watch the fight. He didn't watch the fight. Well, who didn't he say with friends like that, you don't need enemies, bro? I'm tired of all this. So Mark Krieger said, okay, since Kyle Velasquez is a bum pretty much, are you going to fight? You want to fight Bud? Oh, we'll see. He starts chuckling and laughing. And as soon as they ask that question, the person that run the media says, oh, one more question. And then you got Ellie Seck back there asking the dumbest questions in the world. Why? At the end of the day, they love Ellie Seck back because Ellie Seck back, and it wouldn't surprise me if they paid Ellie Seck back to throw the flow off for tough questions. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the reasons why I have no ambitions on covering fights. I have no ambitions on talking about the fight. I already know what's going on. I already know what's going on behind the scenes. But one of the reasons I don't have no ambitions because dudes like Ellie Seck back, they put them in position to throw the flow off for real questioning. I'm telling you, they pay him to ask them dumb questions. So dudes like AB Boxing News can't ask the real questions. See, they that's what I want. Once you get to asking the real tough questions and the hard questions and stuff of that nature, especially if you got melanin in your skin, you a brother, then they can put you out. They gonna ban your credentials and you gonna be crying like beauty shop conversation about how this ain't a black establishment and how Kelly Swanson, I'll let Kelly do this. I ain't got time for it. For people asking why I don't want to go to these fights and ask these questions, why I'm gonna ask the question for? Because the questions I'm going to ask going to get me banned. So why I want to go there and get banned anyway? For what? I'd rather have my dignity. I don't want to be, a crab in a bucket, jockeying for positions. And I ask the tough positions and they pop up on everybody else's channel. It don't make no sense. One thing we know for sure is that these dudes ain't fighting nobody. They ain't fighting nobody. So I'm not going to keep asking the questions, oh, why you ain't fighting this guy? Well, I know why you ain't fighting the guy. Because Al Haymon and you too scared to fight the guy that you want to fight. So with Shawn Porter doing all that, Terence Crawford, man, he really forget all that, man. Since I got dropped, which Crawford said he didn't, but he did. But since I got dropped, since Kyle Velasquez is a bum, since you that boy had your stomach hurting because you thought Crawford was gonna lose, you know what I'm saying? Well, step up to the plate and fight him. Now Kenny Porter said something different. He said Bud was in control the whole fight, and that just let you know that he wasn't worried in the fight. That's what Kenny said. So Kenny and Shawn is two different people. Kenny said he want the Bud Crawford fight. Shawn said, well, I don't know. Well, he ain't called him yet. But him and Bob Arum in the same room ain't nothing but space and opportunity. You know what I'm saying? A hustler's ambitions is somebody that go out there and get it and make it happen. He not looking to make it happen. He not. So kill that Shawn Porter stuff. Shawn Porter's the guy that fought everybody in the division. Now he looking to get a rematch with Errol Spence to fight Manny Pacquiao. He need to move up and wait before he get clipped. I'm telling you. If they actually ordered real title eliminators and real interim fights versus real opponents, and I'm about to transition here into the latter half of the video. If they actually ordered guys like Ennis to fight Shawn Porter, Ortiz to fight Keith Thurman, if they actually ordered these tough title eliminators for real and Lippias to fight some Danny Garcia and Yugas to fight the Shawn Porters of the world, they actually ordered those fights to get the championship fights. And I was watching the Stephen Fulton fight last night, real quick. His title eliminator for the WBO was a guy that never went 12 rounds before, I think it was. How you fighting a title eliminator? You never win 12 rounds in world championship fights in 12 rounds. Like, come on, man. The boxing game is corrupt. These dudes had to legitimately fight. If they had to legitimately fight tough opponents for they to get title shots and tough title eliminators, man. I'm telling you, all them dudes will pretty much lose. I'm telling you. And if they change it and rank alphabet champions, it'll be over with too, because they don't rank other sanctioned belt bodies. But I heard that Shawn Porter could be fighting Josesito Lopez, but there's several other opponents there as well. They'd be looking to fight for the WBC interim title from Shawn Porter's mouth in April. So I heard him and Josesito Lopez could headline their own show somewhere in LA. We know Shawn had that terrible fight versus Dennis Yugas that did terrible at the gate where they was giving away floor tickets. Not saying it was a bad fight. So he could fight Josesito Lopez next in LA. That's what they're looking at. They're also looking at a few other opponents. Pretty not sure who those few other opponents are, but I probably would say they won't be Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia neither. So they probably looking at some guys. You could look at the WBC top 10 or maybe even the top 15 and see some guys that they fighting. But Josesito Lopez was a guy that's promised a big fight. Robert Garcia said Mikey was talking to Al Haymon about Lopez fighting Crawford, but Lopez could be fighting Shawn Porter next. And when people were saying Terence Crawford was fighting Lopez, people shitted on the fight. So keep that same energy for Shawn Porter. But I actually think Lopez is a good fight. I said it's a tough fight for, I won't say tough, but it's an adequate fight. It was better than that shit they put on last night for both guys. Lopez is a guy who dropped Marcos Maidana, knocked out Victor Ortiz, went up to 54, fought Canelo Alvarez, got robbed versus Jesse Vargas early in his career. So it's a guy that I followed. Just blasted out John Molina Jr., guy that moved up from 40 to 47. Got good pop in both hands, been improving. But Robert Garcia showed up pretty well versus Keith Thurman. So I think he pretty much fought his way to a solid fight. So if he gets a WBC interim title fight versus Shawn Porter, it won't surprise me if Josesito Lopez beat Shawn Porter. He got power in both hands. Robert Garcia going to put a great game plan together. That's a very losable fight for Shawn Porter. You know what I'm saying? Shawn Porter is real limited as far as what he going to do. Lopez is rangy, got pop in both hands. Shawn will have to get on the inside and more Lopez, and it depends if Lopez can take that heat. But obviously Lopez, he going to have a great game plan. Playing Robert Garcia, probably one of the better trainers in boxing. And, I think it should be an interesting fight. It'll be interesting to see if Shawn take the fight. Once again, it's a high risk, low reward fight. Interim title don't guarantee you're going to get a title shot versus Errol Spence. Errol can win the title versus Manny and move up. Like I said, all these dudes are draining themselves to make this weight. So at any given time, they can lose whatever the situation may be. But Shawn Porter probably got some backdoor promise somewhere in there. But I know Lopez was promised a big fight, so I think it's a good fight. I mean, like I said, Lopez can punch with both hands, but for people that keep that energy, when they was talking about Robert, was talking about Garcia, was talking about Mikey was trying to get Josesito Lopez to fight Terence Crawford. I don't want to hear people saying, "Oh, that's a good fight for Shawn Porter," and watch how people change their tune now that Lopez and Shawn Porter fighting. They're not going to rip that fight. They're going to be like, "Oh, it's a really good fight. It's a WBC title eliminator. It's good for Shawn," and this, that, and the third. It's a great fight. And this, I said Lopez will be a solid fight for either one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm consistent. And Lopez got a better chance of beating Shawn Porter than he do Crawford because Shawn Porter is limited. Shawn Porter always in tough fights. And Lopez can crack. And Shawn Porter, I'm telling you, he draining himself to be at this weight. So when you drain yourself to be at this weight, your body age faster. Just like a banana. Age really, really fast. In any given moment, you can lose. Lopez is a guy that just moved up. Lopez has been up to high as 54, even though he didn't belong there versus Canelo. But any other guys he could fight, I mean, you never know. Maybe it could be a Ugas rematch for he up there in the top 10. I'm not sure if they want to fight Ugas again. That's a fight that they can lose. The difference between Ugas and Josesito is Ugas is more technical, but Josesito got more punching power in his hands. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? But I think if Ugas get another look at Shawn, maybe he can step it up this time. But there's a fight Shawn looking at. Once again, it's another guy that talks shit about Terence but don't want to fight for a title. He was in the same room with Bob Arum, and he refused to do so. So like I said before, these people get exposed every day. If you don't want to fight a guy, don't give your opinion on the guy fight then. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. And shout out to Mark Kriegel. Like, dude, you gonna fight him then? Because that's irritating. You talk all this shit about a guy. Okay, he don't got nobody to fight. You want to call him out? You want to fight him? Oh, we'll see. And he got the laughing and posturing. Like I said before, man, I really don't have that much respect for these Premier Boxing Champion fighters no more. I used to think that they was the absolute truth about everything, and Bob and Eddie and all these people was lying. But that's not the truth, dude. These dudes don't want to fight nobody. And I urge them, man, if you don't want to fight nobody, man, just shut it down. Make PBC into like UFC, Bellator, and just make a league and just have them fight each other. And let DAZN and ESPN have the World Championship belts come out with the PBC belt, because this is the worst thing going for boxing. This is like pay-per-view to boxing. When they took boxing off free TV and put it on premium TV, and they took premium TV and put it on pay-per-view, this is like crack. This is like crack in the 80s for boxing. PBC is very, very terrible for boxing, man. And I ain't gonna hints no words. I like that the brothers running it, but the brothers running it to the ground. But it's my humble opinion on it. Goodfellas Sports TV. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out to the email if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App, PayPal information in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. And don't forget, check out our welterweight playlist and much, much more. One time for the one time. Goodfellas Sports TV. Let me know how you feel in the comment section. Share the video.